Today, June 1st, 1996, the Dhamma talk at the Tathagata Meditation Center will be on three Vedanas, the three sensations. Number one is Sukha Vedana, the sensation that has to do with happiness. Number two, Dukkha Vedana, the sensation that has to do with suffering. And number three, Asukha Masukha Vedana. That is nothing. That is neither the Sukha Vedana or Dukkha Vedana. That is neither the happiness nor suffering. It is the Vedana that has something to do with equanimity. For the yogis, the Dukkha Vedana, the suffering sensation, is more distinct, and Sukha Vedana is the sensation of happiness, and Asukha and Masukha Vedana is sensation of equanimity. There are three types of Vedana. In the first type of Vedana, that is in the Dukkha Vedana, suffering sensation, Paticca Nusaya dwells in it. Paticca Nusaya is nothing but dosa, and dosa is nothing but anger. In the Sukha Vedana, Raga Nusaya dwells in it, and it is nothing but lobha, and lobha is nothing but greed. And in the third Vedana, that is Vedana that has something to do with equanimity, Avijja Nusaya dwells in there, and Avijja is nothing but moha, and moha is delusion. If you cannot eliminate these things, these anusayas, then you will not get to what you want, that is the mega, phala and the nibbana. So how will you practice to eliminate the Vedana? Lord Buddha said, dear sons and daughters who are good people, first you must consider the Vedana, the sensation, as an arrow. Consider this as a thorn. See, if you have a thorn in your palm of your hand, or if you have a thorn in the palm of your leg, then the first thing you must do is you must take out the arrow or take out the thorn. Otherwise, because of the thorn or the arrow in you, you will have to consider its presence, and it will hinder your walk. So first take out the thorn or take out the arrow, so that it will not hinder your walk. So what you must do is first note the dukkha, that's note the suffering. And if you don't know the suffering, and if you note the rising and falling of your abdomen, then the dukkha will still be there, that is the suffering will still be there, or the pain will still be there, and in that case you will be unable to note the falling and rising. So first of all, what you must do is get rid of that thorn or get rid of that arrow. Appears, that is, if the suffering appears, you consider it as a thorn, and the first thing you have to do is you just consider it as a hindering thorn. Where do you find dukkha in your in the stages that you come across, especially in the third stage known as samasana? That is the stage where you observe the three characteristics, anicca, dukkha and anatta. What happens is that in that particular stage you can have pains, aches, dizziness, swelling, nausea, vomiting and so on, and you meet it again in another stage when you reach patisankha, that is the jnana or the knowledge where you do further contemplation. There you meet all these things again. Not only that, sometimes you have unpleasant feelings in your mind as well. There are three ways to note the dukkha or to note the suffering. The first method is you just note with having in mind to eliminate it completely. The second method is you note with a very aggressive mind, that is, you are going to fight against the dukkha until it is eliminated. And the third method is You just study or you just note the nature and the characteristics of the dukkha. Now if you take the number one method, that is, if you are noting dukkha with the aim of completely eliminating it, it is not good. Because in vipassana, you don't have you must not introduce kilesa, that's defilement, but when you note dukkha in order to eliminate it completely, that means there is greed or lobha in you. And if greed or lobha is sandwiched in between the notings, it is not good. So because of that, you will not be able to get to Megha Phala and Nibbana. Most of the yogis nowadays note dukkha in order to eliminate it completely. Lord Buddha did not say that you should eliminate it. He said that you should note it in such a way that you know all the aspects of dukkha. I repeat, the aspects of dukkha. That means you must not take the easier way, but you must be very careful. That is, you must only take you must only note in such a way that you know the nature and the characteristics of the dukkha. Now in the number two methods, the yogi, with the aim of fighting it to the finish with aggressive mind, is not good, because that is dosa, that is anger. And so the yogi not only suffers from anger, he suffers from domanassa, that is the unpleasant feeling. This method must not be taken or must not be followed. In the number three methods, you note so that you know the real nature and the characteristics of the Vedana or the characteristics of the suffering, of the sensation. Only if you know the nature and characteristic of the sensation, then you will see Udaya Bhaya. Udaya Bhaya can be divided into two parts, Udaya and Vaya. Udaya is the arising and Vaya is the disappearance. That is, only if you know the arising and disappearance. When the dukkha vedana or the suffering sensation becomes very distinct, first one must be very patient, because if only you are patient, you can get to Nibbana. That is the saying. So there are many examples, but here I will give you one of the examples. Once upon a time, there was a Thera monk, and he was having a very bad pain in his abdomen. He could not bear it, so he lay down on his bed, and the pain becomes more intense. He could not control his clothes, and his clothes are here and there. And then suddenly another monk by the name of Pindapadika came, and he said, "Oh Bhante, oh my lord, the monks must be patient." So the monk said, "Okay." The monk said, "Sadhu," and that monk calmed down, and he noted penetratively and respectfully, and he put his mind on the pain, and that pain goes up, and when it reaches near the breast, he passed away, and then he became an anagami, that is a non-rodana, and he reached Nibbana. First, keep in mind to be patient, and don't think in such a way that is it going to last for a long time, or do I have to suffer all the time? Don't think it that way. When the Vedana is intense, some yogi tends to have a tense body and also tense mind. Then, because of the virya, because of the effort which is in excess, the yogi cannot put his mind on the Vedana. So the yogi must relax the yogi's body and relax the yogi's mind, and put your mind straight on the Vedana. And you must note, you must see, observe whether the pain is on the skin, inside the skin, or in the bones, or in the bone marrow, and so on. So as I have explained to you, the yogi should note how much pain is there. Is that on the skin, or in the veins, or in the bones, or in the bone marrow? Then if you note it that way, you will gradually get samadhi, that is concentration. Then you note the pains, the aches inside, and so on. If you continue noting, sometimes you may experience more pain, more aches, more bitings, and so on. And if you go on accordingly, sometimes the pain may be reduced. The pain may reduce. The intensity of pain may reduce. That is, after about 4 or 5 notes, you may experience less pain, and so on, and the pain moving from one place to another. You can see by yourself and know the nature of the pain. Sometimes the sensation, the Vedana, increases, sometimes the sensation, Vedana, decreases. So you know the characteristics by now, and noting becomes better and better. If sometimes the Vedana is too intense, and if you cannot note it, and if you are having a very unpleasant feeling, you may change your posture. Then, before you change your posture, you note your intention, that you have the intention to change. You want to change, or you have the intention to change, or you feel like changing. Then while noting the intention, sometimes the Vedana is reduced, or sometimes it moves to another place. But if you have to change your position or a posture, then you note every step of your change. You continue noting the Vedana, and the samadhi or the concentration may mature. That is, the concentration becomes better, and then you can notice the pains, the aches, and so on. Sometimes you get more pain, and that pain may reach the maximum, and then after that the pain may be reduced again. So you must note it penetratively and respectively, and you must not note it lightly. And you must see whether the pain is on the skin, or in the veins, or in the bones, or in the bone marrow, and so on. You will notice that accordingly the Vedana will change at each note. If your samadhi is mature, you can notice it. Then you know the characteristic of the Vedana, and the noting becomes better and better, and go on noting. Now if you continue noting, and if your samadhi matures, and if your samadhi concentration becomes strong, you will notice in the pain, the arising of the pain, and the disappearance of the pain. And disappearance is more distinct than the arising. Arising means appearance of the pain, and disappearance means the perishing of the pain. So there is appearance and there is perishing. There is appearance and there is perishing. Now the noting mind is overwhelming the pain. If you go on continue noting, and when your samadhi concentration becomes stronger and stronger, and it becomes more matured, the appearance or arising is not very distinct. Only the perishing or the end is very distinct. So at that stage, you don't have the chance to enjoy suffering. So that stage is known as Bhanga stage, the stage where you see only the perishings and not the arisings. And now, in case of young yogis who experience this kind of thing, they don't know how to say. So they used to say that when they just aim at the pain, it just disappears. So the pain disappears and perishes. The knowing mind, the mind that knows the pain, also perishes, and the noting mind also perishes. So when the pain, the knowing mind, and the noting mind, they all perish, it means they are not permanent, that is impermanence. So in Pali, the impermanence is known as anisa. So you completely eliminate dosa at that time, because you don't have a chance to have dosa. And because these things are rapidly perishing, these phenomena are rapidly perishing, you feel that it is a kind of dukkha, or it is a kind of suffering. And as you can't control it not to happen, you get what is known as anatta. So you have anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering, and finally anatta. Now for yogis who can note very well, they can overwhelm dukkha, and they see that it is good to note dukkha, it is good to note the suffering, because if there is no vedana, no sensation, no dukkha, they will have nothing to note about. So that is where they eliminate dukkha. If there is no vedana, they said their minds might wander to other places. Or two, the dosa, the anger, dwells in dukkha. That is, dukkha is suffering. You must really eliminate it. People with good noting can note in such a way that they can have pain only in the body and no pain in the mind. I will repeat again. Pain in the body and no pain in the mind. Once, when Lord Buddha was staying at a place, something like a village, there is a rich man in that village called Nakula Pita. That is, Nakula Pita means Mr. Father of Nakula. And this gentleman happens to be Buddha's father for at least for 500 lives, 500 previous lives. So the old man is now very old, and he is beyond 80 and is about 90, and he feels that the sufferings, the Vedanas, are torturing him. So it reminds him of Lord Buddha. So he went to see Lord Buddha, because he felt that if he didn't go then, he will not be able to go in the future. So he went to see Lord Buddha, and when he met Lord Buddha, he paid respect to the Lord Buddha, and he told Lord Buddha that I am now very old. I am now in the last part of my life. I am very weak and I am unhealthy. So please deliver me a Dhamma talk which is suitable for me. So Buddha told the old man, the old rich man, so that not only the old rich man felt comfortable, so that other people can also know about it. He said that there is nobody who is free from Vedana, who is free from suffering, Vedana, suffering. He asked, who said that there is anybody who is free from Vedana? So everybody has Vedana. So the commentary teachers expounds that the Buddha is very right. They said, anything that comes out of the eye, anything that comes out of the nose, anything that comes out of the ear, or anything that comes out of the body, so on, the excretions are all Vedanas. Because if these things come out abnormally, if more than normal, it's Vedana. If it comes out less than normal, it is Vedana. So there is nobody who is free from Vedana. Lord Buddha said, rich man, you must practice in such a way that there may be a paining body, but there must not be the paining mind. So you must practice it that way. So the old man was very happy when he heard about it, and so the old man took leave from Lord Buddha, first by worshipping the Lord Buddha, and he came out with his front facing the Buddha, and with his back towards the door, and he came out slowly, and then he turned around clockwise and he went away. So he went away from Lord Buddha's place, and he remembered that he should go to Sariputta's place, so he went to Sariputta's place. And when Sariputta met him, The monk asked him, "From where do you come, rich man? Your face is so clear and so calm." And he answered, "I came back from Buddha, from seeing Buddha." So Sariputta asked him again, "Did he give you a Dhamma talk?" And he replied that, "How can he stay without giving me a Dhamma talk for a man like me? Because I have been his father for the last 500 years, and in knowing him and in acquaintance, I got the distinction on, or I got the, I excel in knowing him than other people," he said. The old man, "What Dhamma talk did Lord Buddha give you?" He said, "The Lord Buddha told me that practice in such a way that you get only the paining body and not the paining mind." So when Sariputta learned that the old man came back from the Lord Buddha, and the Lord Buddha has told him to practice in such a way that there should be no pain in the mind but only pain in the body, Sariputta realized that the old man should have asked how to do it. So he asked the old man, "Did you ask Lord Buddha how to practice so that to learn about the paining body and the paining mind, and to learn about paining body and non-paining mind?" The old man said he forgot to ask about it. He was so happy, so elated when Lord Buddha talked to him, gave him a Dhamma talk. So he came back without asking about it. So now that he is very old and he could not go to Lord Buddha for the second time, so Bhante Sariputta, will you please let me know these two Dhammas, that is about the paining mind and the paining body, and the paining body and no paining mind. So when the old man requested Sariputta to give him a Dhamma talk, Sariputta started with about pain in body and pain in mind. Those people who has pain in body and pain in mind, he said, because they cannot separate Rupa and Nama, because Rupa and Nama are mixed to them. Rupa is matter and Nama is mind. So if one cannot separate, one cannot differentiate mind and matter, then that man will have pain in body as well as pain in mind. Because our aggregate, our khanda, there are five of them, and in that those who cannot separate Rupa and Nama, that is mind and matter, there are four eyes, cases. There's I suffer this, I suffer that, and so on. There's though the body is doing its own work, people think that it's I who is doing it. Though the Vedana is doing its own work, people think that I am doing it. And also Sankhara is doing its own work, people think that I am doing it. When the Vijnana is doing its own work, people think that I am doing this. So that I is there. And so the 4 eyes and 5 aggregates, there are 20. 4 into 5 means 20. And Sariputta gave these 20 facts to the old rich man. For those people who cannot differentiate between mind and matter, not only that body is in pain, not only that the body is suffering, because of the suffering of the body, the mind also suffers. So I will give you a motto, that is, for those people who think that mind and matter are I, then if you have that kind of mind in you, both your mind and body will be in pain. I will talk about pain in the body and no pain in the mind. If the yogi can note in such a way that for those who approach a quiet place, sit there and meditate, practice meditation, To eliminate this sukha sensation, one should note this sukha sensation. Note on this, put his mind on the sukha sensation and note it. Your mind becomes, the yogi's minds become very pleasant, and it becomes more and more distinct. And as your concentration matures, you just note the pleasantness, and you will find that that this pleasantness disappears as soon as it appears. So it is very rapid. So because of this rapidness, you may think that it is like torturing you. Then you think that it is dukkha. You think that it is suffering. And when you think that it is dukkha, and when you know that it is suffering, then raga nusya, the lobha or the greed, disappears soon. The motto is, every time the sukha appears, you really should note as if it is dukkha. Eliminate raga, that is greed, every time sukha dwells in you. That is the motto. Now I have talked about sukha virana, and it is fairly complete. Now I will continue talking about avijja nusya, that is in upekha virana, that is about the nusya that dwells in equanimity virana. When I have to talk about the upekha virana, that is virana that has to do with equanimity, this sensation is distinct only when you reach the stage of sankrupaka jnana. The sankrupaka jnana is nothing but the jnana of equanimity. When you reach that, you are not afraid of anything, and you are not attached to anything, and you can view equally the pleasantness and the suffering. And at the time, you don't have to put in too much effort to note, because noting is now very easy. Just one or two notes, do one or two notings about the rising and about the falling, and after that everything will appear automatically. So if you follow it slowly, then what happens is that the avijja nusya, the moha or the delusion, will enter and will dwell in you, and as the noting is very good, you go on noting, and the noting becomes very good, but you don't advance forward. So because upekha is not very distinct at the time, it is rather difficult to note. As I told you, upekha is not very distinct, so you must eliminate it. But in doing so, it is not very distinct, the process is very delicate. If I have to give you an example, it is like following a deer in the forest. So you follow the footprints, and when you come to a stone slab, you find that there are footprints pointing towards the stone slab, which indicates it's going up the stone slab. But when you look upon the stone slab, you don't find the footprint of the deer. And then beyond the stone slab, you find that footprints which indicates that it is going down. So between going up and going down, there is a stone slab. So there is no footprint on the stone slab. Similarly, dukkha is like the footprints that is going up, and sukha is like the footprints going down. So you got to imagine that in between them there is equanimity. That is, on the stone slab there is equanimity in between the dukkha and sukha. So if you are samadhi, if your concentration is not strong, it is difficult to note. So you go back to the rising and falling of your abdomen, then you notice the perishing nature, that is the end of the falling and the end of the rising. Then you begin to see again, because when you reach sankarupeka, that is when you reach the stage of equanimity, you already have the Bhanga stage, that is stage where you only see the perishing as your base, as your foundation. So you can see the perishing nature, and when you see the perishing nature, you automatically eliminate moha or delusion. So the development of your jnana or wisdom is exactly opposite to moha, the delusion or ignorance. It's important that you should eliminate moha, the delusion. So you should note very penetratively and respectively. As soon as you can eliminate avijja, moha, then you advance very soon towards the last jnana. That is, in between the last jnana, there are only two left. One is anuloma, which is adaptation knowledge, and one is gotrapu, that is cutting the lineage of ordinary human being. So when upekha virana appears, you must note very carefully. And I will give you a motto, that is, when upekha dwells in you, you really must eliminate it. If upekha appears, this is the motto. If upekha appears, you must really note it as anicca, that is, you must really note it as impermanence. Please accept my apology for not translating Sayadaw's blessings yesterday. I thought you already know it from the previous day's translation. It was almost the same. Now I learned that you would appreciate listening the translated version separately of the Sayadaw's blessing. So today I will translate the Sayadaw's blessing. Sayadaws say that now you have heard my Dhamma talk on the elimination of three anusayas. Practice accordingly, and may you quickly experience the noble Dhamma and also the Nibbana that you have been longed for, and you should want for, and you should acquire it with easy practice very rapidly.